Okay.
Okay, evil planter boxes, watch out for them. We're going to tell you what to watch out for when you're buying a unit and what a planter box looks like. Evil little puppy. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Well, good morning.
Hi, how are ya?
Yeah, well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Tell us, Zan. Tell us what are we worrying about this morning? This sounds
Planter
scary.
boxes. Do you know what? This topic just came completely out of left field after a conversation Mark and I were having off air. And I had said, oh, do you know what? I just see so frequently that clients tell me they're not interested in any property or any apartment that wasn't built in the 80s or 90s. They don't want any of these apartment complexes that were built anywhere in the year 2000s onwards. And in my mind, I had said to Mark, do you know what? A lot of these complexes that were built, let's just say around the Sydney Olympic days, so 20 plus years ago, they are all going through things at the moment, whether it's painting, remedial works, balconies, waterproofing. And it's probably about time that all of these complexes go through and have those upgrades. It's been 20 plus years. And then Mark said, bow, bow. If it was a property built with a labor of love, these apartment complexes should be able to withstand 99 plus years before you even touch them. But it wasn't until the introduction of something called a planter box, which has really thrown a spanner in the works.
Oh, people have decided to build bathtubs. They have been a big problem. If you go back in strata issues, guys and girls, and you look at these remedial works, it's normally look. I get there's been fire upgrades,
Yep.
and
Yep.
that's sure things change. You have to get fire upgrades. The laws change, but the biggest thing we see is water penetration in a building, and the biggest cause of water penetration is the waterproofing. And
Yep.
it's like, why do you need waterproofing? We didn't really need waterproofing in the 60s and 70s as much when it came to outdoor areas. Why? The reason why is because we just put a roof on shit.
Roof
So
on
it had a
ship with,
just
yep.
we just put a roof. We just had a roof. We weren't doing huge decks on the roof. We weren't putting plants. Um, these plants on the roof, guess what? They need soil, and guess what? Soil needs water. So they effectively have to build these giant pools on the roof to hold soil, to hold water. And when you're holding soil and holding water, you're holding moisture for long periods. When you're holding moisture for long periods, it wants to penetrate anything that it can. So here's an example of this day and age, the beautiful planter boxes that people do to hold beautiful plants. But the trouble is they leak.
Yep.
So that, can you hold on to that for a sec, Xanth?
This one,
Next one.
this one.
Next one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It gives you an idea of how beautiful you can get your roof looking, but trouble, 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 trouble. Hold on to that one for a sec, Xanth. If you want to plant on your balcony, this is an isolated example. You can move it around, you can replace it, you can get to the underneath of it. You've got no problems. But if you look at the other examples that Xanthony's showing, you literally have to dig out tons and tons of soil. You then have to redo the inside of it, to waterproof it, to
Yeah.
retest it, going again. So it's just trouble. Now that example, what you got there, like right against the bedroom, or a room inside, like if you don't have great waterproofing. Now that's got the opportunity of going sideways, always a trouble. But then if you've got an opportunity for it to go down, you better have bloody good waterproofing that's going to last 100 years. Pretty rare.
So really, look, they do make an apartment complex look truly beautiful. Like when you see with this one, it
That's
just
hot.
completely transforms the cosmetic appearance of an apartment. And so what is it like within these complexes that were built in the last 20 or so years? Is it just a bad waterproofing? Was it an oversight on the developers? Was it a development issue when they weren't as heavily regulated as they are now? What kind of is it? Have the tools and materials we're using in today's age been enhanced from 20 years ago? Are they better now than they were then?
We weren't even doing it. I think, look, the science is better, and the science gets better and better, every decade. But at the end of the day, we weren't doing planter boxes on roofs. We're putting tiles on roofs. So we're opening ourselves and exposing ourselves to greater risk of, to degradation of these waterproofing systems over years. So, the expectation of building is 99 years. You build something, it should last for 99 years. Now, there's program stuff there, which will be, your garage doors will have to be replaced, but the base product, you should get a long life out of. And what people don't realise is the base product of a planter box, it's not going to last. It's not going to last you 99 years. It's not going to last you 50 years. It's probably not going to last you 20 years. It will leak. It'll leak, and it's going to leak into apartments below.
Yeah. Look, it's something to be wary of, but if you have a strata complex that's very active, the committee's wanting to replace these, let's just call it every 15 years or so, that should mitigate the problem of it leaking down into apartments, causing a mass issue throughout the whole entire complex.
But there's some of these planter boxes can hold 10 tons of sand and soil, and that's not a big planter box. For a rooftop of a big apartment building. So I think that when you're buying, best advice we can give from today is when you're buying in a unit block, if you do see planter boxes, your ears should prick up. If it's not a problem now, have a look for it to see if there's any problems reported. And if it's not a problem now, have a look for the problem. Be prepared that in the future that planter boxes you will have an issue with. If you just tuned in, guys, we're talking about planter boxes on rooftops, and also rooftop deck. The membranes will fail more often than not. So it's going to happen.
It will happen, but I always see works to any complex as a good thing. It's just increasing that longevity of the complex, of everyone's time there, and making sure that the building does last over 100 years.
Definitely. But look for it. I think awareness is the main thing when you're going in on it, and not many people speak about planter boxes. At all. So, I think just the awareness is a huge thing. Look for it. Be aware that it's going to be there. You may be looking at two units. One's got a shit ton of planter boxes in the roof, and one has none. That's an easy decision for me. Go the one without, because I think it'll be a bit more hearty and strong.
Yeah, very interesting. Not enough people talk about planter boxes. It's the little known fact in apartments that should really, like Mark said, prick your ears when it comes to buying an apartment that features planter boxes in there. Not to say that you should completely run for the hills. Some of them are okay, but it's certainly something to consider. And really weigh your decision in purchasing something with a planter box moving forward, taking on board everything we've just spoken about.
Yeah, and waterproofing. It's one of those things I've seen. I've seen unit blocks where they have, believe it or not, they've turned the whole top floor balcony into a pool to test the waterproofing. So they had such problems with the waterproofing over the years that when the waterproofing was redone, they filled the whole roof with water. It had 1 foot of they had 1 foot of water
Yeah,
on the whole rooftop deck.
just to prove that the waterproofing was now good.
And they left it for a month.
And what was it like after that month?
It failed. So then they got rid of the water, they redid it again, the waterproofing, and they filled it for another month. These guys were so just like
Laser
really,
focused.
laser focused to get it done. And then once it actually was good and was great, then they tiled over the top. But then again, you've got to be careful that you're not tearing the waterproofing when when the tradespeople are running in and out with the tile system over the top. It's scary.
Yeah.
They're going to be like on point.
Absolutely, lots to consider, and it's something that we see so frequently in strata reports at the moment: waterproofing, planter boxes, remedial works.
Yep. And there you go. Hopefully this helps some people today.
I hope so. It's something that isn't really spoken about all that often. People just see waterproofing in a strata report, they're like, oh no. But
yeah,
if you find out,
it's a word you understand pretty quickly. You go, okay, yeah, waterproofing, I get it. But, waterproofing, what? What does it consist of? Like, who's doing that? Whereabouts in the building? So it's rare that the waterproofing in the showers or the bathroom wet areas fail as much.
Yeah.
And don't forget, those areas are not taking the onslaught of water like a rooftop. Yeah. And even worse, when it's a planter box, it's holding it. So when it's, if it storms, it may storm for 7 hours or 8 hours or 24 hours or 48 hours, but the planter box will hold that water for weeks or months.
Yeah. Big time. Get something like these bad boys on your balcony, much easier to maintain and be on the safe side.
Thanks, Anne.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a good week.
Cheers. Bye.